Hi, as I always say, if you stumble across this video, it won't hurt you. If you're in my class, you're in the right spot. This video is specifically about social support and exercise. That's the topic. The topic is a small sliver of the book, and it's kind of a sliver of one of the chapters. In different textbooks, different classes, different parts of the world, it might be an entire chapter. And so what I want to do is do just a couple things. As always, one, I'm going to give you an overview, and then I want to talk about the assignment, and I think that will wrap it up. And so social support, I'm looking at page 80. Follow along with your textbook or just listen to the audio while you're driving in a car. Social support is closer to you, right? And then in social support chapters, they talk about the entire environment, right? So we have this entire environment that has things and stuff and rules, and then it gets closer and closer to the middle, right? The middle is me. The middle is, again, I have to organize myself to exercise. I have to value it, have some expectancy that I'm doing it and something good's gonna happen about it, or I'm not gonna do it, right? And so when I look at this figure, right, the bigger circle is policies. And so the pandemic is my least favorite topic, and I'll talk about it this much because the moment I open my mouth, my mother knows, I'll talk about it for 10 straight hours, right? And so it talks about policies that rule us, right? There's policies at parks when they're open, there's policies at golf courses, there's policies at the student rec center, right? And those policies, they don't determine, I exercise right there each morning. It's just right there. It's a small spot. I'm a small guy. I don't need a big spot, right? And so nothing stops me from doing that. But, you know, for fun, I mean, it stops me from golfing if the golf course is closed, right? That's a policy that impacts me, right? And so we have policies. And so the pandemic is an incredible example of policies that, again, people can march in place at home. People can do 1 million sit-ups, 1 million push-ups on their own. But the policies in place to not go out, or golf courses closed, the rec centers closed, it does impact, right? It does impact your ability to do what you do, right? It's very impactful. Then we have the physical environment, right? So we have the stuff that the policies are made for, the properties that the policy is made for. Then we get to social support, right? Our interpersonal relationships. And we are all, for this video, every one of us, we're all adults. So we're not children. We're not, there's a fun photo of Mary Catherine and Ian grabbing her leg. Right? We're not children whereby if I coached my oldest son in homeschool basketball, right? So the car has to run. We could walk, but most likely we're not going to Abilene by foot, right? And so there's all sorts of things that happen when I can't physically drive a car or get there, or whatever happens when you're in youth sport, right? A lot of things happen. So that's not us, right? So we've got our types of social support, our networks. Then we have the interaction of the support we perceive that we receive within our immediate environment, our immediate physical activity domains, right? And so that could again be, I'll go to the pandemic, the Meadowbrook Golf Course, public course in town, 36 holes. When the first lockdown, I guess we've only had one lockdown in Lubbock, or school's been canceled went online for that March after the spring break thing forever. The line is out, was out to the highway, right? Because friends said, hey, let's go golfing, right? And people go, I'm not really a golfer. And they're like, yeah, but it's the only place that we can go, right? And so everybody went to golf, right? But then in some places, Illinois, raised, my mom, the golf course was closed, right? And so that doesn't matter social support for golf because the golf course is closed. And then we get in the inner circle, if we're looking at page 80, then we get to ourselves, right? The individual. And so we scroll through the chapter, and we can get to kind of Blackboard and our assignment. And the classics, right? The classics are instrumental support, emotional support, informational support, and appraisal support. Those are the classics. And the point is the assignment is to think about, to make a diagram of 10 people, has to be at least 10, and maybe only one of them is impactful. But 10 people you hang around with now, let's not, again, we're not youths anymore. We're not children anymore, whereby the parents' role of instrumental support involves providing tangible, practical assistance, right? That will help somebody achieve a goal. That means I drove my son to a basketball game and I coached it and all that type of stuff. I had to get in the car. That could still happen today with as adults, but it's not my mindset. It's not thinking about when my parent did something for me. Right? And so is to make a list, write down 10 people around you, and then separate them somehow. Write down the type of support they provide you, or the type of, it's a pretty open assignment, or the type of things that they do exercise-wise, the type of lifestyle they live, and then you move your friends. They don't have to be friends; they can be enemies. How close they are to you. The closer they are to you means that they are providing more of a determinant, more of a social support that you actually engage in exercise. And it's easy to go off topic, and that's not my point. I appreciate people hopefully watching the videos, right, to just orient your mind to the book, to the assignment. I think we all know, this is where we go off for 1 second, it's a lot easier for friends to give us bad habits than good habits, right? And that's the problem with life, right? Is your social support groups can just whatever. Somebody opens up a tube of Pringles. I don't know if you're not kids, you're adults, still eat Pringles. But I see them, and a student worker of mine will have a Pringle, and then boy, it's open, it's gone, right? It's gone, right? And the next day, that worker shows up, that student shows up, we're all expecting those Pringles to be there, right? Or as opposed to if somebody brought carrots, not thrilling, not too exciting. Great habit to eat carrots instead of Pringles, but if they don't bring them the next day, feelings aren't hurt, right? Social support matters. Our textbook is going to tell us, and I would tell you again, when it's a small effect, you might perceive it to be a very big effect. So why is it a small effect? Again, to achieve the gold standard type of things, 150 minutes, moderate to vigorous physical activity in a week. That takes a lot of support, right? That takes a lot of support. Now, one-time activities, hey, let's go to the rec and do Zumba. Let's go take a walk at the park. All physical activity is good physical activity. So social support probably is more important than a book could actually say, because again, our lives are still evolve around 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity, right? As opposed to one-time events, which are all good events, and they could lead to something great in the future. Right? You could become 10 years later, you could take up Zumba. So that's it. Social support. You can. I have my essay and I have examples, and I'm gonna cough. Let's have a great week. See ya.